This man actually wants to grow potatoes on Mars. Because he had an accident while performing the task. He was abandoned by his teammates on Mars. The stored food can only last for 1 year. But the next Mars exploration will have to wait until 4 years later. In order to survive, Mark decided to grow his own rations for 3 years. He first built a potato shed in the space capsule. But what to do if there is no fertilizer on Mars? This is simple. He directly took out the vacuum class of the team. But mixing manure and soil. Stir again with water. The first bucket of fertilizer on Mars is just fresh out of the oven. And now only one kind of donzi is missing. That is water. Fortunately, a large amount of fuel hydrazine is stored in the base. The hydrogen decomposed by burning hydrazine can get a lot of water. Mark started the experiment confidently. Can be the next second. After repeated attempts, this time the experiment finally succeeded. Condensation of water drops on the plastic sheet of the greenhouse. After 54 days and nights, the first plant on Mars was born. The food problem has been solved. The next step is to get in touch with the Earth as soon as possible. But the teammates thought that Mark was dead. And the Earth is also holding a grand funeral for him. 79th day. Mark harvested the first batch of potatoes on Mars and preserved them. So small as a seed to continue to be buried in the soil. This day Mark suddenly remembered. On the Pathfinder that landed on Mars in 1997. Maybe there is communication equipment. So he decided to try his luck on the Pathfinder. At the same time, his trajectory on Mars was transmitted back to Earth through satellite images. The staff saw the rover constantly moving. View, this shows that Mark is still alive. This shows that Mark is still alive. The news caused quite a stir instantly. And Mark also successfully found Pathfinder and brought him back to the base. The space agency also guessed Mark's intentions. Pathfinder via remote control. Mark finally got in touch with the Earth. But this 97-year-old device can only transmit some still pictures. Well, and there is a long delay. But the engineers of the space agency taught Mark how to access the communication system of the Pathfinder. Realized two-way communication by rewriting the program. The space agency decided to give Mark some food supplies so that he can hold on to the next Mars mission. Mark was very moved after listening. But I want to deliver this space takeaway from such a long distance. It takes at least 2 years. Fortunately, the potatoes planted by Mark are enough for his survival. But in this night, sudden leak of pressure chamber causes a momentary loss of pressure in the cabin. There was an explosion in the entire potato greenhouse. All the potatoes were destroyed in an instant. Mark finally repaired the greenhouse. But it is no longer possible to continue planting. And his leftover food is not enough. Wait until 4 years later for rescue. Clean up the mess everywhere. Now he can only put his hope on the food supply of the Earth. And at this moment, the rocket full of food on this side of the Earth has lifted off. However, due to a large amount of compression, the test time has been reduced. As a result, the rocket exploded as soon as it flew into the sky. Food supplies cannot be delivered in time. Mark will undoubtedly die. Just when NASA and Mark fell into despair, China came out to rescue Mark. China Aerospace Administration decided to abandon my country's Helios project. Let the ready-made rockets send supplies to Mark. Too, but even so, it's difficult for Mark's existing food to stick to the delivery of supplies. At this time, a physical genius thought of a wonderful way. Is to make the spacecraft of Mark's teammates cancel the return to Earth plan. Orbit the Earth directly. Under the action of a gravitational slingshot. Fly to Mars at a faster speed. Then Mark is using the launcher on Mars. Rush out of Mars to dock with your teammates. Although this plan is perfect. But the risk in the middle is too great. NASA directly rejected the plan. But when the teammates learned that Mark was not dead, they didn't hesitate. Unanimously decided to rescue his comrades. They directly modified the flight route privately. NASA saw that it was done and had to agree. China's rocket lifted off smoothly. Everyone cheered. The teammates also successfully docked with the sun god. Got supplies. Everything is proceeding in an orderly manner according to plan. But here comes a new problem. Mark needs to take the launcher and dock with his teammates in space. But Mark's launcher cannot fly to the predetermined altitude. This will make him miss the meeting with his teammates. The only way is to reduce the weight of the transmitter. At this time he had an amazing idea. He decided to remove all the unused items on the transmitter. Seat, console, I don't even need the top cover. Then he covered the top of the transmitter with a piece of plastic sheet. That's it. He is under the attention of people all over the world. Decided to drive this convertible rocket out of Mars. The teammates have reached the specified height. Huge impact swept through. Directly broke his ribs. The extremely fast speed made him faint in an instant. Everyone on the earth is holding their breath and guarding someone to cheer for him. Someone prays for him, but the transmitter still hasn't reached enough height. Can't complete the docking at all. At this moment, the captain made an amazing move. She chose to blow up the airlock in front of the spacecraft. Use the thrust of the explosion to slow down. Then the captain came out of the cabin with a walking machine and prepared to rescue Mark. But, even if the rope is pulled to the maximum length, there is still a big distance from Mark. When they are in a dilemma. When he woke up, Mark had cut his flight suit. Used leaked gas as a thruster. Flew to his teammates like Iron Man. At the moment, he finally hugged the captain. At this time everyone on the earth is cheering for him. Mark relies on his firm will and desire to survive. He survived on remote Mars for nearly 2 years. Finally he survived like a miracle. Do you think it's incredible? But it's Mark's will to defy hardships. Worth learning for each of us. Foot on the red earth. Looking up at the starry sky. Is there anything we can't